And whereas the municipal public clerk serves as the information center of functions of local government and community. Whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings and professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of municipal clerk to maintain the integrity and to provide for public access to, safety of, and inspection of all city public records. Now therefore the Kathy L. Prout, Mayor of the City of Shafter, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 2nd to the 8th as Municipal Clerks Week. Extend appreciation to our municipal clerks. City Clerk Yasmina Polaris, Deputy City Clerk Rachel Zermino, and Deputy City Clerk in Training Vanessa Aribi, for vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to serving the changing needs of the community. Passed and adopted this day.
Thank you.
Wow. Now you get to talk. Oh. Got her on the spot.
I know. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. Thank you for recognizing us this week. We have our Deputy Clerk in Training here to learn all the ins and outs of these crazy meetings, virtually, hybrid, however you want to call it, but it's all learning. We're all doing it, and thank you again.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, lady.
I would just like to take a moment to, I know everything kind of seemed like it went very fast, but all of the contestants and the the distinguished young ladies contestants, my daughter having gone through that, I know it's a life building experience. So I'd like to just congratulate all of them. Mike, for the work that you do in public works and with your helpers and all that and everything, your work is very much appreciated. So I wanted to tell you, thank you. Make sure you let your staff members know that too. And the clerks, thank you for everything that you do, keeping us informed and keeping us in line and letting us know where and what to do. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to mention as well with the distinguished young women, want to tell them congratulations to all their hard work and the commitment and the heart that they put into it. Just like Councilmember Espinoza, my two daughters, I have three, actually two out of the three were in the junior miss, and one of them was a junior miss and the other one was involved in the junior miss. Seeing them go through what they went through, it's actually very rewarding, and I'm excited that we still have that offered in our high school. So hope that doesn't never go away. So also our public works department, I think they have already left, but Mike, I just want to say thank you very much for the public works department. You are a big piece to the city, because without the public works, I think the city would be in a mess. Even our streets, our alleys, our community. And I just want to say thank you to the public works for all their hard work and trying to, doing their best and keeping Shafter looking nice and beautiful. City clerk, I just want to say thank you for all your hard works. And I know sometimes we might annoy you by not replying or not doing our 700 forms or something, So, but thank you. I personally appreciate your reminders that, hey, don't forget. So, but thank you again. So that's all I have to say.
It takes a lot of courage for the distinguished young women to even stand up here and do what they got to do. It's especially at a young age, you don't have that development yet as far as stand up in front of a crowd and speak and perform. So I applaud them. I wanted to stand in front of them, but they left pretty fast. But it does take a lot of courage and a commitment for that. I couldn't do it at that age. I can barely do it at this point in my life now. So they got a lot more courage than I do when it comes to that. Public Works, Mike, big supporter of you guys, love you guys' work. You guys do an amazing job here in the city, and your work does not go unnoticed. And I want to say thank you to you and your staff. Yasmina and your staff during these times, during COVID, all the changes that was made all the procrastination from my part and you keeping me updated and telling me to do things. I thank you. Thank all your staff. Because I am a procrastinator in general and I do things last minute and I know you pushed me to get them done. And I just want to say thank you to you and your staff. Thank you.
Public comment time. Persons wishing to speak on any item included on the agenda or any matter.
Excuse me, Mayor, there's two other presentations.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, the guys threw me off, didn't they? All right. The next item was the Kern Mosquito Vector and Control District. Are you Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Good. Welcome.
Can I turn this just a little bit? It'd be okay?
Sure.
Thank you. I made the mistake a minute ago of putting a cough drop in my mouth with a mask on and my eyes are watering. Yeah. It's a good way to wake up this evening, though, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Prout, council members, thank you for having me here this evening. My name is Terry Knight. I am the Public Information Officer at Kern Mosquito and Vector Control. And I've been asked by Tim Unruh, put a presentation together for our board members. And they really enjoyed it. I haven't been to the city of Shafter, so it gives me an opportunity to introduce myself and what we're doing out in the fields, how things have changed over the past few years. So presentation is, it's time to spring into mosquito season. We got warmer weather that is approaching right now, and we are starting to see mosquitoes. Okay. So there's some questions up here on the board this evening, and thank you. There's some questions up here on the board this evening, and this is what we get from the public so often. People ask, who are we? What do we do for the public? And why do we control mosquitoes? So many people within our district don't even know that there's a mosquito abatement district here in Kern County, let alone there's 4 of them actually. Another question, what is a vector? And this is a very important question that comes up because a vector is anything that can transmit disease or pathogens to a human being. I'm going to go ahead and develop that word vector here as this presentation continues. And our primary objective at Kern Mosquito and Vector Control, and this is very important, and it's protect the public health through effective mosquito control, virus surveillance, roof rat control, as well as public education. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. Got it? Thank you. Okay. All right. Very important question, and probably one of the most important questions of the evening. Why do we control mosquitoes? Mosquitoes are vectors of diseases and parasites, like I said earlier, and 2 that hit home right here in Kern County are West Nile virus and dog heartworm that I've highlighted. Mosquitoes are also a nuisance and cause discomfort to the public. More than 1 million people die every year worldwide because of mosquito-borne illnesses. Here in Kern County, we've been affected by West Nile virus now for many years. It was introduced to California in 2003. It was introduced to Kern County in 2004. This cycle right here shows how the cycle starts and how it can finish in a negative way. It starts within birds, it's transferred to mosquitoes, and that's normally a revolving pattern. But these mosquitoes, they can venture off. They can feed on humans, they can feed on horses. The West Nile virus cycle within humans usually is minimal, but it can be very evasive and it can actually even cause death. As well as in horses, but more so in horses, it can be very evasive. There are 26 species of mosquitoes here in Kern County. 3 of these are of major concern due to disease and nuisance. The mosquito on the left or the left corner there, I want everybody to pay special attention to, because I'm going to really develop a story on this mosquito and what's taken place. This mosquito is fairly new to Kern County. It's only been here since 2014. It is really starting to make its move through Kern County. The name of this mosquito is Aedes aegypti. Mosquito life cycle. Many people don't understand or know that mosquitoes actually breed in water. The majority of their life cycle is in water. And you've got 2 different cycles right here, just to give you an example of the water and the life cycle. But the most important thing is on the upper left-hand corner, you see those single eggs from Aedes aegypti. This new mosquito can lay eggs in a container, in a water cup, whatever it might be. Those eggs can be left behind for up to 2 years without water. Okay, just like a seed you plant in the ground, same thing with this mosquito. You add water, you've got instant mosquitoes 2 years later. Now, all these eggs may not hatch, but a certain percentage of them will, and they will start a cycle once again. Okay, some similarities and differences between Culex and Aedes, and I'll go through these pretty quickly. Aedes aegypti, like I said, it's very different than what we have seen here in Kern County. Culex mosquitoes have been here for hundreds of years. Aedes aegypti have not. And I want you to pay attention. They prefer urban environments. That means they want to live around your homes, your front yards, your backyards. That's their habitat. They also are container breeders. And when I mean containers as small as a bottle cap of water can breed this mosquito. So, like I said, I'll develop the patterns of both mosquitoes and where we're at right now. They prefer to feed on human beings. This is the kicker. Nobody's used to mosquitoes biting you during the daytime. This mosquito prefers to bite during the day. They are very aggressive and they're also elusive. So many people have nicknamed this new mosquito the ankle biter. And if you have been around them, you'll understand why. When I mean evasive, they like to stay down low and out of eyesight. They also, one single mosquito normally will feed on you more than one time. So instead of just receiving 1 or 2 mosquito bites in an evening, you may end up with 20 or 30 in a short time. They're also very itchy, as a slang term. Excuse me. So it's a mosquito that has really taken a lot of precedence and a lot of attention to the forefront in Kern County. Culex tarsalis, I'm not going to ignore them. They breed both in rural and rural water sources, but they're usually found in larger water sources. Once again, they are a vector of West Nile virus and St. Louis encephalitis. They feed primarily on birds, and that's where the West Nile virus cycle comes from. They feed primarily at dusk and early throughout the evening, and they're a less aggressive mosquito than Aedes aegypti. Okay, I'm going to slow down, and I want to really point out what you're seeing right here. This is something that has not normally been an issue for us at Kern Mosquito and Vector Control. In any type of essence, we really have to focus on this now. We are trying to share with the public to do their part to remove these types of water sources or treat them in a manner so this new Aedes aegypti mosquito cannot find these water sources and create problems. Like I said, they're containers. Most of these are not very large in nature. Your common Culex sources, okay, this is something we don't like to see, and we are out treating them right now. We have about 1,200 green swimming pools that came up on aerial photographs just recently, so we've just started treating the green swimming pools. These are a major issue here in Kern County. Without this, without treating these sources right here, West Nile virus can and will be a serious problem here in Kern County. Some of the common agriculture sources that we face here in Kern County would be waters or your water troughs, your horse pastures. A major issue, thank God we don't have that this year, but we need the water, is recharge basins, which puts thousands and thousands of surface acres of water out there for breeding habitat. To the far right is a leach field with wastewater that has been extremely overwatered for years. At Kern Mosquito and Vector Control, we are now implementing an integrated pest management system, and we're doing that for more than one reason. As I go through these next 5 slides, I'll go through them very quickly. Physical control is very important now, especially with Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. That is reminding the public that they're a container breeder to get rid of standing water around homes and to do that on a regular basis. Also to remove unwanted items, tires, wheelbarrows, buckets, any unwanted, basically junk that's not needed around your homes any longer. We also use biological control. Mosquito fish, probably one of the most important tools that we have at the district. We place mosquito fish anywhere that we can get these helpful, excuse me, this helpful fish to survive and live. Whether it be a city sump, a green swimming pool, water troughs, it's very important of our IPM program. We also use bacillus products, which are bacterial products. That would be applied either in a solid form or spray form. And it's a bacterial product that only targets mosquitoes and black fly larvae. Chemical control. Yes, we use chemicals when necessary. These are EPA registered chemicals. They are the safest chemicals and products on the market that we can use around humans. Okay, this is part of our IPM program that has come into play that is extremely important right now. Cultural control. What are we doing? Well, we're trying to educate the public. We are handing out brochures. Myself there at the PIO table. Last year, we had a real difficult time with COVID, trying to get out and spread the word about mosquitoes, especially Aedes aegypti. It was a bad year for a lot of people, especially us. We have recently switched gears. We've got some new ideas that we are implementing. And so far, it's really starting to gain some attention, and it's starting to spread the knowledge throughout the communities. Okay, we use surveillance as a major tool with our IPM program. This allows us to do 2 things. It allows us to give us real-time numbers of mosquitoes and where they're breeding. It also allows us to capture these mosquitoes and send a portion of these to UC Davis, where we test them for West Nile virus, as well as St. Louis encephalitis. So we used to have about 100 traps in the field. We have really ramped up with the Aedes aegypti program. We probably are running somewhere between 200 and 230 traps, like I said, to give us real-time numbers of what's going on within our community. Okay, ways to protect yourself. And this is very important. The first one on the list, we recommend that people wear lightweight, long clothing. And that would include both long sleeve shirts and long pants. But anyone that's lived here in Kern County for any length of time, we all understand it's hot here in the summertime. So do we really want to do that? You know what? I'd be a liar if I said I did. So there's other ways to protect yourself. But the next one is very important. You do not want mosquitoes in your home, period. Okay, so it's very important to inspect your window screens, your door screens. Right now is a really good time before these mosquitoes get out of control and really ramp up. Just a reminder, Aedes aegypti mosquitoes are extremely aggressive. Safety door screens, the wire mesh. The mesh is too large in size to prevent these mosquitoes, or basically any mosquito, from entering your home. Aegypti mosquitoes will breed inside your house, and they only, like I said, they only need just a cap full of water. So potted plants within your home, flower vases, anything like that, if they start cycling within your home, you've got an unhappy environment very quickly. Most important thing that I can recommend to anyone to prevent mosquito bites is number 3, wear EPA registered insect repellents. And I stress the use of DEET. It is the most, it's the most potent repellent that's on the market. These other repellents, the problem we're running into is the concentration levels a lot of times are too low to be effective towards even Culex mosquitoes, and especially against Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to try to keep this to about 10 or 12 minutes. I hope I've been able to share some information this evening, and was wondering if anybody had any questions.
So correct me, did you say all mosquitoes carry some disease?
Most mosquitoes have the ability to carry disease. Currently, right now in Kern County, we have 2 mosquitoes that we target that, if they're not carrying it right now, have the ability to carry West Nile virus. So that would be both the Culex species. Aedes aegypti, they are vectors of disease, but we don't have the disease here in Kern County right now. So Aedes aegypti can actually carry multiple viruses. That'd be yellow fever, chikungunya, Mayado, and I'm forgetting one. Did I say yellow fever? I think I did. They can carry a multitude of viruses, but we don't currently have those viruses present here in Kern County, which is a good thing. So they are a nuisance, but they're not transmitting any type of disease.
Okay, I noticed on ankle biters that you don't know they're there, you don't see them, so to speak, and then all of a sudden you got these red spots.
Correct. Yes, they're very elusive. And one thing about Aedes aegypti, they're very small mosquitoes. So they are about a third or even less the size of a common mosquito that you would normally see. They're so small, many people often think that they are being bitten by gnats or other things within their yard. And until we really started getting the word out last year, many people didn't know they were being bitten by a mosquito because this mosquito feeds during the daytime. And none of us are used to being bitten by mosquitoes during the day. We're used to being bitten by ants or something else within the yard other than a mosquito. But yes, especially early in the morning, they're very aggressive. They'll follow you to your cars. They will follow you inside buildings where you might be working. So it doesn't take very many to create a hostile environment, if you would say, like I said, within your homes. We're getting a lot of calls around business offices where these mosquitoes are creating mayhem.
My other last question is about DEET, percentage of DEET that you should have in the ingredient.
That's a good question. I always recommend people use at least 25%. If you use 25% or more of any DEET product, you will have should have full control of mosquitoes. Want to pay attention to the labels. Each product is different as far as how often it needs to be applied. And also, if you are around water, some people ask, what can I do as far as my children go that are in and out of the pool? Right now, there's not a solution to a product that will actually deter the product from being washed off in water. So as the kids get in and out of the pool, you'll have to reapply that. And remember also, when you're applying mosquito repellents or insect repellents around children, especially under the age of 2, don't apply it to their hands and don't get it around their mouth area because children at that age usually will stick their hands in their mouth. You're better off to actually spray it on your hands and rub the children down. And like I said, stay away from the facial area, especially the lips and the mouth area.
Any other questions?
Is there a good way to kill them once they're inside the house? I know normally I try like leaving a bathroom light on and keeping the house dark, and then sometimes when they go in, you'll see them. But is there other things, other ways to kill them once they're inside your house?
Yeah, excuse me, Councilman Espinoza. There are traps that are on the market right now. I haven't really heard how effective they are. I can't promote any one. I know there's some new products that are starting to come out. One that looks very promising, very young man at one of the colleges here within the United States is in the process of coming up with a trap that's completely safe. It uses light, I guess. So based on that light pattern, if that's effective, and it may be out right now, so you can keep an eye out for mosquito traps or something that might involve like a UV light type of thing. Once they're in the house, the only thing that you can really do is try to be aware of where they're coming from. And you're going to have to wear repellent. They don't live very long. And when I say that, they usually only live probably about 8 to 12 days. That's the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The Culex mosquito is very different. They can live for several months based on the weather patterns. So the hotter it gets, the shorter their lifespan is. Aedes mosquitoes in general usually don't live very long. So if you can locate that water where they're coming from and stop them once and for all, that's the best solution that I can give you, honestly, at this point.
And the candles that they burn outside, the smoke, I forget the name.
Citronella?
Do those work?
I have talked to several people and I'm going to say no. And I'll tell you one reason why they really don't work. They might be effective to a certain degree, but if you're going to use a citronella candle, you want to get them down on the ground because like I said, that these mosquitoes stay low to the ground. They're going to want to bite you below the knees. Most citronella candles are like antique or the tiki torches and stuff like that. So the material is actually floating above where the mosquitoes are flying. So it's really not a deterrent. And because these mosquitoes are so aggressive, even some of the more mild repellents that are on the market, like I said, the picaridin, the IR3535, and some of the others, the percentages are so low in the material, mosquitoes will bite right through the repellent. And that's something a Culex mosquito will not do. Culex, usually if you have any repellent on you, you can put a really light coat of repellent on you. As long as you have that repellent on you, that mosquito is going to go to the next person who didn't use any. Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, that's not the case. They're very pestivorous. If you spray down real lightly thinking, oh, you know what, this stuff stinks or whatever, I hate putting it on. You got one of two choices. If they're in the area, they're going to bite you if you don't put enough of it on. I hope that answered your question.
Anything else?
Mayor, may I through you?
Yes.
A couple of questions follow up on the repellent. One, for young children, I often recommend the organic repellent. I'm sorry. I was asking about for young children, oftentimes parents will use that organic repellent. Has that been deemed effective? Any chance, you know?
You know, I haven't heard a whole lot on the organics. Once again, just from my personal knowledge that I've gained out in the field last year, I helped out in the field taking care of service requests, and that's where we answered the request for help from the public. I spoke to multiple people that showed me products that they were using that were ineffective towards Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. So if there's an organic out there that is effective, I would definitely like to hear about it because I get a lot of questions. People want a product, like I said, that doesn't have a foul odor. And they do have products out there like that. They've got some out there that smell kind of fruity. They've got some, I know Avon has some products. I believe that some people say they're effective, so, and others do not. But to have a consistent repellent, I know the DEET repellents are definitely effective. But once again, you've got to have those percentages of DEET at 25% or more to be effective. So as far as the organics, I really don't know, but I'll tell you what, I can look into that and get back to you on that, because right now it's had a negative, most repellents, like I said, that are going in that direction are having a negative impact on the mosquitoes right now. So.
And then one last question, what's the best way or recommended way to dispose of any standing water you may have, whether it's inside of your house or outside in your backyard or something that you may or may not know that there's any eggs in there? So last thing you want to do is put it in the drain, right? Because I mean,
it's a good question. Best way to dispose of any standing water is just go ahead and dump it out on the ground. As soon as that water dissipates, mosquitoes are going to die. But that's a very good question. And I didn't know I'd be able to have this much time, or I'll go ahead and elaborate right now. If you have a container that you think may have Egypti eggs on it, especially a potted plant, dog's water bowls, things that are common around your yards. You know, the Scotch-Brite pads, the yellow sponges with the green scrubbing pad on that, scrub the outer edges of that above the high water line thoroughly and rinse that. You can rinse them with bleach if you're really worried about it. I emphasize on just scrubbing those areas. And if you have a potted plant, around the base of the potted plant as well, okay? Dog's water bowls, wherever that high water mark is where this mosquito is going to lay its eggs. So if you do that, it's what it's going to do. It's going to crush those eggs. So if you've stopped that cycle. Once you've done that, then you need to be diligent to police and patrol your yard wherever you might be finding this standing water, and continue to do that. With potted plants, one solution, actually two solutions that you have there. A lot of people have potted plants. If you want to keep the water saucers, we recommend that you fill those with sand. Okay, and by filling those with sand is what you've done is you've eliminated that surface water where the mosquitoes can breed and survive. Either that, or just get rid of the saucer altogether and just water the plant more often. So, like I said, I can, and I will go back really quick because this mosquito here, I don't know if everybody lives here in Shafter. I know some of you do. This mosquito showed up in Shafter in 2019, but it really hasn't made its mark here yet. It's showing really slow numbers, but that doesn't mean that can't change this year. We saw the same thing in Bakersfield in 2018, where the number of service requests indicated that it was within the city, but it wasn't getting a lot of attention. Okay, last year that changed. We went from 700 service requests to 4,000. So having said that, this can get a lot of attention. These containers up here, you got your potted plants, you've got some of your other items. Like I said, be aware of where that high water mark is and do your best to try to maintain these cycles of mosquitoes. And please share this news with your neighbors. Like I said, I'm going to be back to the city of Bakersfield to deliver some information brochures to many of the businesses. I left some with Yasmina. So if you guys would like a copy of that, it's definitely worth reading and handing out to your neighbors. So. Any other questions?
Well, appreciate you coming and sharing that information because we need to be reminded over and over. Last year I got caught. I had a sprinkler that wasn't functioning properly. And when I was out there pulling weeds, I got, just like you said, I was covered with them.
Yeah.
Didn't even know they were around. You could not see them.
Yeah.
So I had red spots all over. Yeah, but we fixed the sprinkler, so we're good. Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me this evening. And we just hope that everybody has a safe year and hopefully COVID-19 will start to die down and have a safe mosquito season this year. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Okay, now the water tank mural project.
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. My name is Jenny Holterman. I'm the Executive Director of the Water Association of Kern County. And I'm going to attempt to share my screen with you guys. Hopefully that worked. Can you guys all see that?
There it is.
Perfect. So I am Jenny Holterman. Like I said, I am a Shafter resident, actually. We farm in Wasco and Shafter and live in the rural part of northern Shafter. So thank you for having me with you guys today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the Water Association of Kern County does. So we are a nonprofit, and we focus on informing and educating the public about water in Kern County. So perfect segue from mosquitoes. We need to conserve water and use it to the best of our abilities and make sure we don't have standing water. That's what we don't want. We want to make sure we are very conserving our vital resources that we have here in Kern County. So in December, we started a history of water campaign to get our community more aware of, how water came about in Kern County and the various different uses of water that we have here. So I'm going to share with you a short video that we created.
I'm sorry, Jenny, we can't hear your video.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, we'll skip the video then. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Anyways, we did a video on the history of water. It's available on YouTube. If you'd like to go to Water Association of Kern County, you can check it out. But mainly it highlighted the history of water, how water came here, when the development of Kern County, and all the varying uses of it. And with the introduction of our video, we did this wrap on a building of Mr. Don Clark. Some of you may have remembered him. He was a big water maven back in the day. Was very integral part of water in Kern County and getting water here. So we wrapped this building on El Cajon and North Chester and Oildale of these great historic pictures of the history of water and using it for growing cotton, the development of the Kern River, the oil field, a great way to appreciate the history of water in Kern County. And that was leading to coming and wanting to bring that to our cities as well. So I looked at Shafter. I met with the Shafter Historical Society down at the museum, and we went through some great pictures of showing, what is in the history of Shafter and the using of water. And obviously, Shafter at time was the potato capital of the world, and we spotlighted some of these great images of potatoes and agriculture and really the roots of Shafter agriculture and how it all began, along with irrigation. Obviously has changed so much throughout the years, and the canals, and then just cows walking along the canals, grazing in pastures. Such a unique history that we have here, and it's great to see how much irrigation has changed, how much agriculture has changed over the years, captivated in these beautiful historic pictures. And obviously we have the Shafter Cotton Research Station, which has played such a vital role for agriculture, not just in Shafter, but in Kern County. And we have these great images of the research station, the first planter that they had out there, and harvesting the cotton. Such cool pictures that really, take you back to that moment in time. So why I'm talking to you guys today about these pictures, why are these important? Well, I am coming to you today because I am interested in this spot that the city has. So on Lerdo in 99, I know you've all are aware of the giant water tank that sits there, and it's a blank canvas, an opportunity to show the community a little bit about the history of Shafter and the history of water water and how it plays a vital role in our agriculture industry, a vital role in our community, the economy that we have here. So how I envisioned after meeting with the Shafter Historical Society was taking some of those images I showed you and wrapping that beautiful water tank. So this is, if you're headed northbound on Highway 99, you hopefully will remember, I showed you the clearer picture of these. So this is kind of just a rough sketch of what we could do with that water tank, and showing you those images here on northbound. And then on southbound, if you're headed southbound on 99, you would see this side of the water tank. And that magic of water hashtag is something that we use at the Water Association on social media to gain momentum, for people, the community, to understand really the magic behind water and what magical things we are able to do with water here, specifically in Kern County, and really how that magic of water has transformed our economy, has transformed where we live and our agriculture industry and our communities, from that historic footage to where we are today. So that is our proposal to you. We have done these different wraps, like I said, throughout Kern County. We had our first history of water wrap that we did in Oildale in December. We also have 5 other wraps that we've done throughout Kern County with our more magical pictures, our Magic of Water campaign, showing fairies and whimsical genies and wizards that transform water into agriculture. We've wrapped 5 other buildings, or 5 other water tanks, I'm sorry, with those. So our proposal to you is at no cost. The Water Association, part of our wraps, we cover all of the financial obligations. It's part of our education. That's what our organization is all about, is doing outreach and education about water. So we would, at no cost to the city, just letting us use that water tank as a backdrop to these murals. We do ask for a minimum of 5 years display. In theory, these wraps could last for 20 years. We would love for them to at least last 5, but if that is too long, a minimum of 1 year, we would really love a 5-year contract to keep the tank wrapped. And we obviously just need access to that tank for planning with our sign company, planning the installation of it and the maintenance of the wrap if need be. And the Water Association holds all liability insurance and all fees associated, like I said, with getting the tower or the tank wrapped. That is our proposal to you guys. I would love to answer any questions that you might have, or any further explanations.
If I may, Jenny, this is Mike with Public Works. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, the city staff have worked with the association to vet this project. The tank is tank number 5. As pointed out, this is at the near the intersection of Lerdo and Highway 99. The tank was chosen because of its high profile location. I think we'll get the wow factor that everyone's looking for. And we've had a really good relationship with the association on most recently on water conservation media campaigns. And there was no cost to the city, as pointed out. And moving forward, I suspect, I'm not sure if we have a timeline for this, but we'll certainly, as we move further along in the process here, we'll keep you posted on specifics of the mural. And with that, there's no cost, so no budget, no action is required at this time. But again, this will be brought back to you as we kind of make progress on the mural. So just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, we're finished with presentations then. Now I can go to public comment. If anyone cares to address the council, may come forward at this time. Hearing none, we'll go on to council announcements and reports. Councilmember Alvarado.
You know, I don't have nothing to report, but I just want to say thank you for the coffee. Good coffee.
I know if it gets colder in here, we might want more, huh? Okay, Pete?
I did sit in on the Kern Groundwater Authority meeting via Zoom. I filled in for Chad, who wasn't available to make it. There's a lot of information that goes on in those meetings. That's all I got for right now.
Okay. Councilmember Lopez?
I have nothing to report at this time, Ms. Brown.
Very good, thank you. Okay, I have a few things. I wanted you to know that I did attend Public Works as well as the staff with Public Works as well as with the police department, and invited our city manager Gabriel to attend also and talk to the employees, and I think maybe had a good introduction. Okay, then I also attended the Kern Economic Development meeting, quarterly meeting that was held, and it was all virtual, but I think they're going to start looking to do something that's not just on, that we can do in person. So we're hoping that this continues to change. Just a brief highlight, the conditions of the economic development is really pretty positive. The audit came through and, you know, there's been stability with the membership, and I think that's important to note throughout the county. We did welcome 2 new company representatives from Houchins Blood Bank as well as the Adventist Health. And then there was quite an extensive report on the state of the economy. And I think it's worthy to know that the unemployment at this time for our labor market is 10.8%, which is really pretty good. I think that we'll see that continue to decrease too as we go along. Also, the growth of development for businesses is continuing, especially with manufacturing and warehousing. And as you know, most of Chapter is involved in those types of companies, including the distribution centers too. Also at the end, I did ask our economic development staff member to speak. Bob Meadows spoke and told about the good projects that we have happening even currently with Amazon and our Countryside Car Wash, as well as the SOS recycling plant. And I'm not sure, when's that planned to be started operating? Do you know, Bob? July, okay, so very soon. Okay, and he's going to be located out at Minter Field, which will allow us to take some of our recyclables out there. And then the other one is Celsi, which is coming in to take over the Weatherford building that's out there on Minter Field, or I'm sorry, on 7th Standard, and doing truck manufacturing, which is another plus in expanding their business coming out of Fresno. And then of course, the housing starts are really coming along here within the core city, as well as even continues out at Gossamer Grove. And also, I think it's important to note that Bob Meadows is also a representative of Shafter with the B3K, which they continue to work to find and acknowledge, or no, to expand our knowledge about the workforce and what we have going on in our community, what we need to do to improve it, because especially today, skilled laborers are needed as well as technical skills. But if you're willing to go into robotics and a lot of those others and some of these warehousing and distribution centers, the job skills are really pretty versatile. So we need to encourage our students and as even our adults to look into being trained to fill some of those positions. Also, we had a meeting with Councilmember Espinoza and myself talking about truck parking in our community on the local streets. And it's going to be an issue, and it has been an issue in the past. We were able to move them out of residential areas. We have them on some streets right now that are zoned for that. But this is the time that we have to start thinking of moving them again, as well as somehow to have a permanent place for them to park. So if we continue to recognize that, safety reasons are one of the biggest concerns today. So if you think of something, help us out. do some research or whatever. It is going to come before us soon. Also, the Chamber Board, the Chamber of Commerce had a special meeting to reconsider the fireworks display for July the 3rd. And they did vote to go ahead and plan and proceed with the planning for July the 3rd fireworks that could be held at Shafter High. And I believe there's a meeting coming up on Monday to finalize the location, as well as they're paying the money for the fireworks and going out and getting sponsors. And so that'll be something that could be maybe a kickoff or whatever to just come out of this COVID in the past year and a half, and let's celebrate America and as well as have some good times. So that one's being planned for July the 3rd. Okay. We'll move on to consent calendar. Now, I have it highlighted that I can highlight a lot of these. We have 11 items on there. But does anyone have, I hope you've checked them all out, and does anyone have any questions that they need to ask or comments about any of these? No? No? Okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion and then we accept the consent calendar items 1 to 11.
I'll second it.
Do we have a motion? Oh, you'll make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, good.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Prout.
Yes. Under management reports, the first one is to adopt resolution 2794, which is to appropriate $415,032 from unassigned traffic impact fee fund and award the construction contract to Griffith Company for the 2021 Express and West Beltway Roadway project.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council, the West Beltway is a regionally planned road running north-south that has the potential to connect Highway 99 on the north side and Highway 119 on the south side. Public Works designed a project to be the very first phase of the West Beltway development that would start at 7th Standard Road and run north immediately east of the target facility, approximately 1 mile, but then it would transition into an extension of Express Avenue. A location map of the project, I believe, is included with your staff report. A formal bidding of this project was conducted by Public Works, and we received 5 bids that are summarized in the staff report. The lowest confirmed bid was submitted by Griffith Company for a value of $2.1 million. 4 other bids were received that were considerably higher, and they ranged between 2.7 approximately and 2.9 million. The engineer's estimate prepared by the city engineer going into this bid process was 2.5 million. So we're pretty pleased that the low bid was significantly lower than the engineer's estimate. Not included with this project that we're talking about is traffic signal that ultimately needs to be installed at the intersection of 7th Standard Road and the West Beltway. We plan to come before you at your May 18th meeting to recommend an award for that project. Funds for both the road construction and the signal project, a budget for that, an appropriate budget would be $3 million to account for both projects as well as contingencies. The capital improvement program account that is listed in this year's budget for this project has a balance of approximately 2.2 million. To cover the difference in funds, staff is proposing to transfer approximately 400,000 in surplus funds in another project that we won't be needing, and that coupled with an appropriation of 415,000 approximately in unassigned traffic impact fees will cover the funding difference that's before us. So the use of the traffic impact fees could formally be made possible by the adoption of resolution 2794, which is included with your staff report. So proceeding with this project in the short term would alleviate significant traffic buildup on Zachary Avenue for the industries at the wonderful industrial park. It provides a secondary access point to the park off of 7th Standard Road. Long-term, this will serve as a very strategic investment in the transportation needs of not only the city, but the surrounding region. And with construction costs with this bid significantly lower than what was planned, we're hoping to move forward with the request. We're hoping to move forward with an award to Griffith Company, as well as the budget amendments necessary to fund not only the road construction project, but as well as the traffic signal project that'll be before you at your May 18th meeting. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions of staff? Hearing none, what's your pleasure?
I'll make the motion.
Good. I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Lopez, seconded by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call?
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Prout.
Yes. I think if anyone's ever been out there on the shift change, you can definitely feel it already. Even on Sunday, I noticed there was people coming out of the Target area, just that one little, and they just almost sail out of there. Chief, I thought about you and your folks, because they really move out of there. It didn't take them long. We do have a stoplight as they come out of Target, so they have to slow down there, but wow, they're moving. Okay, city manager comments and reports.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, a couple items. Just a friendly reminder, we have a special council meeting, special study session next Tuesday, the 18th at 4 p.m. It's our budget discussion. And then just quick update, standing report on our COVID-19. Kern County remains in the orange tier for now. We do continue to improve. Vaccination rates appear to be slowing down considerably, is what public health is reporting. But they're now working with all the cities in Kern County to push out vaccine campaign to try to get more people to get the vaccination. So there'll be more information to follow with that, and Chapter will be participating in that campaign as well. And with that, no further comments.
You know, I might add to that. I should have mentioned it even in the council reports, is I did go over when we had the vaccination
Right
over
at the
there. I
high
was there
school.
at 5 o'clock. And I thought they were going to close, but no, they extended out because of the people that were there, as well as the wait time for some of them. And so they were there till 6, and talking with the Kern medical people. And the article in the next day's paper was really very good and reflected what they had even shared with me. The fact that Shafter High and Shafter Community responded better than any of the others that they'd had. And yet they had a total less than 100 that they served all afternoon. They seemed to think it was good. I was truthfully disappointed because they had staff there that could have handled all of those, and yet they didn't participate. So, you know, the tacos were good. The mariachis that were playing was good. You know, I think what they did was very positive. And I know that Shafter High sent out additional notices so that people would know about it, as well as we did too. So
Right.
you can't just drag them out on their own. I mean, some did leave and brought back other family members or people that they knew, but still, it just wasn't enough, I thought. So
Right.
they may do it again out here. And then this education program that they're going to push out now should get more people aware. Plus, I saw today they're going to lower the age level.
Just, yeah, they
Mhm.
are.
They're down to 12.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they're
Mhm.
starting to show test results for that lower age group,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Well, you're lucky you got some of the tacos. I showed up too soon, too early. I didn't get anything.
Well, he was about ready to close because
Yeah.
I think he had planned to be there too till 5, but then he was still there because others didn't come out after me even.
Yeah.
Yeah, see there? I know. Yeah, well, Community Chest will have one in February. They might have it again. Yeah, we might. Okay, any other questions of the city manager? Okay, department comments?
Certainly, we have our Public Works Director who's, oh, nothing tonight? Okay, sorry about that.
Nothing this time.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Okay, we need a motion to recess, and let me just say first what we have. We have 3 items. One is a conference with real property negotiators for our city manager, as well as the nutrient ag products. And then the second one is a conference with labor negotiators for our local employees representatives, as well as number 3, employee performance evaluation for city manager. Need a motion?
Make a motion to go in recess, not recess, closed session.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Okay, we are in closed session and it's 7:15.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. City Council recessed into closed session. The items are listed on page 3 of the regular meeting agenda. All members were present except for Councilmember Givens, who was an excused absence. The items were conference with real property negotiators concerning the properties listed on the agenda. With respect to that item, the City Council provided direction to its negotiating team, and there's no further reportable action. There was also conference with labor negotiators concerning the groups listed on the agenda. City Council heard a presentation from its labor negotiation team, provided direction on some of the items, and there is no reportable action. And the last item was public employee performance evaluation. That evaluation was not conducted. Instead, the City Council decided to continue that item to the May 18th meeting.
Very good. Any other comments, Council? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye.